Dear viewers of Gaza Media, welcome this afternoon in the US Standard Time. It should be evening in Cameroon time, and we will be discussing, as we have earlier announced and we have been reporting since February the 6th, when the triple anniversary of the Focolare movement was launched at the Maripore Center in Mvo, in Fontaine, where it is a triple anniversary because the Folklore movement will be celebrating its 60 year in existence, or the 60 years in the BLM and in Cameroon and across Africa, and also the 60 year of the seat of Wisdom College Fontaine, and the 25th year of the existence of the new evangelization since 2000, when Madame Kera Lubitsch came and launched the new evangelization in Fontaine. And today we'll be continuing in those activities, as you must have learned from the organizer that it is a year-long series of events that will finally end in December of 2026 with a 3 days uh, intensive celebration in Fontaine, or at the Maripole Center and the Seat of Wisdom. And this evening, the Folklore movement, or this Sunday, that is the 10th of May. It will be a grand launching and a fundraising in Douala, where, as you know, the Focolare also have another big center in Douala, where the head of the movement in across Africa, Mr. Marcellus Nkafo, is stationed in Douala. So there's going to be a giant fundraising where all the funds of the BLM are invited or will be present during that particular event. And this evening or this afternoon, we want to do a preview of what is going to transpire and while they are actually celebrating the 60 year. They call it the 60 years of unity and love. Dear viewers, stay tuned. And if you are joining the platform now, please share the link to different forum and invite people to come and be part of this movement. Of course, we cannot overemphasize on the role that the folklore movement, the Seed of Wisdom College, the new evangelization has impacted the life, especially the life of the BLM people. I mean, it is across Cameroon, but I think the more a focus is to the BLM people, because they are the primary beneficiary of the work of Madame Kera Lubitsch. I will be bringing in Dinkamalem, who is an ex-student of Sudozom, a member of the folklore movement as well. He will not be able to be on video, but he will be on an audio format. And I will also bring in the head of the movement, Mr. Marcellus Nkafo, who is resident in Douala, who have been here a couple of times when the launching took place at the Maripore Center. Let me bring them in here so that we can actually start this conversation. There are some other panelists that may be joining us later on throughout the program, but for now we have two people who are present. Mr. Marcellus, you are welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Kumba. We are glad to be back again. And greetings to viewers.
Yes, yes.
And
And
thank
Dinkamalem, okay, sorry. And Dinkamalem, I know, unfortunately, of technical issue, we cannot see your face. And I hope you are hearing us clearly.
Yes, I get you 5 on 5. Thank you so very much. And welcome to those who are following up this broadcast. It's always been a pleasure to share on Gaza Media, which is our own platform. Thank you very much, Dr. Ernest.
Okay. Yes, before we dive into this conversation, dear viewer, like to brief you what has been transpiring since since February the 6th, when this anniversary was actually launched. There have been a lot of series, there have been a lot of evangelization, especially in Fontaine, where the representative of the folklore movement has been trying to go to different churches and try to preach the gospel, the love and the unity, something that Kera cherished so much. And there have been also a lot of activity. We must have watched the fact finding mission of the Seed of Wisdom student, where the president went there, they did some findings, And they have also held another General Assembly meeting again in Douala, still under the canopy of this triple anniversary. Mr. Marcellus, let me start with you. Now, it seems like there's another launching again. Can you clarify our viewers, our listener? Because it seemed like it was launched. Now there's still another launching again. Is there any? Can you clarify the differences?
Sure. The beginning, the 6th of February, I think you're referring to what we had on the 6th of February.
Yes.
Actually, it was just a date we wanted to commemorate because on the 6th of February 1966, the first Focolare stepped into our land, into the Lebialem land, and the transformation began. So we could not fail to commemorate that date, which is very important. Now, after that date, other important dates too were marked. But what is going to happen on the 10th of May is the grand launching of the Triple Jubilee Anniversary Celebration, meaning that it is like when we want to give it, bring it out to light and say, yes, here we come, we are starting it, and it's official. It can go, everyone can know about it. And then again, what would characterize this launching is also the fact that we want to launch fundraising for the anniversary celebrations. So we would be calling on those who would be present as well as those who would be linked on streaming to put deep in their hands into their pockets and see what they can do to assist the organization of the Triple Jubilee Anniversary Celebration. Not only that, it will be a great chance for them to thank God for what He has done continuously to us from the BLM, the transformation that has been brought about. It could only be God, even though we are saying that Madame Kiara Luby came, but God came through her. Yeah. And she herself usually says that she is only the instrument of God. And so, but then we are the beneficiaries. And this is our time to say, yes, we are aware that we are beneficiaries and that we thank God, we are grateful for what has taken place. So that would be what is going to take place on the 10th. Here in Douala, Collège de la Salle Aqua, we would start with a mass, a solemn mass to be celebrated by Monseigneur Jean Bosco Ntep of the Diocese of Edea. And so, if those who are in Douala or even around the city, I suppose you don't want to miss out on this occasion. Obviously, after Mass, there will be other things that will be on the program, but we can come back to that later.
Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you so much for that, Alice, for that wonderful introduction. Now people begin to get an idea. Let me ask you. I think it is stated that probably you are expected to have all the funds of the BLM to be present during this grand launching of the movement or of this triple celebration. So, what role would they be playing, or can you put it in context for us?
Well, the funds of the BLM have been very instrumental in the life of all the institutions we are celebrating. That is the Focolare movement, the Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College, and the new evangelization. We would be minded that on the 6th of May 2000, Kiara actually sealed a pact of mutual love with Fontem Difang, with Fontem Jufua, and later with Fontem Jufua, Fonjumeto, and herself. So the and history and documentary evidence is abundant on the fact that these traditional rulers have been able to spread the new evangelization not only in Libya, but out of Libya and now on the global stage. The traditional rulers were also very instrumental. If you go back into the history of the movement, in 1966, it was Fontem de Fang who went down to Buea and laid his case to the then bishop of the Diocese of Buea, which extended from Manawo Bay to the northern tip of Nkambe. And this providence came into the land through a traditional ruler who cared so much for the population. And the history of the movement is all around working together. What we call the three pillars: the movement, the people, Our Lady Seat of Wisdom College, and all the other social works that have since come into being in the area. As of now, we have confirmation that there would be at least seven funds out of the nine that have been traditionally those we knew, and many more chiefs that will be around on Sunday morning. We have confirmation as of now that seven of them will be present.
Okay, yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Alice, for giving us that historical perspective. I think Mr. Item Terence is here. Let me touch the seat of wisdom issue. I think after the fact finding, we have not really have a panel to discuss what was discussed or to really analyze some of the issue. But what caught my attention was the multipurpose hall, where I think the president did mention that normally that hall they should rehabilitate so that they could also use as a host hall for some of the activity that is going to take place. I just wanted to find out from the ex student perspective. I know Kamalem is also an ex student. In to what extent have the ex student gone in that endeavor?
Well, it's unfortunate that the president is traveling. He would have been on this panel to be able to explain what the ex-students intend on doing with the whole. But the whole was a simple project, and it will remain a simple project, but high-yielding project, because it is meant to develop other skills in students that are not necessarily acquired in a classroom. Expression, taking part in public debates, and hosting social events, not only for the school, but for the community at large, which needs a whole of that nature. Out of the Maria Police Center in school, and it could even at one moment be transformed into a chapel if the college were to host a huge event with many more people than the student community. There are many things behind that, but I think it is a project that is going to bear fruit in time. At this moment, we need to finish it. During the 50th anniversary, the walls, it was we had already put a roof, but we have to do the flooring. We have to put some of the doors. We have to remodel it again to meet with the times. One of the things that inspired us was Obama coming to power in America, because he was eloquent and people thought that he just had a baritone, a good voice. But at the end of the day, they realized that his eloquence could not be matched by his opponents, and that took him to the White House. That was primarily what spurred some of us who were in Sueza government at the time to champion this project.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I think a project like that one, especially like with new technology, where maybe wiring, electrification with the internet provider and all of that. Mr. Terence, yeah, you are welcome. Sorry, you have a connectivity issue. Can you hear me?
Right. Can you hear me,
Yes.
Director?
Yeah. So yeah, I wanted to ask you.
Okay. Yeah.
In
I am
addition,
sorry. I've been
go ahead.
Yeah, so I just wanted to say I was, I'm sorry I have been struggling to join on my laptop and my phone. It's been very tough for some reason. I don't know what is causing the denial of service, as we say in technology, with my service. But these things happen some days. So please go ahead. I'm happy to be here, and will manage the with the weak signals that I'm having.
Yes. Yeah. I think yeah. Mr. Marcelo, we started talking about. I want us to maybe pitch to the audience about this fundraising, the significance. I know Mr. Marcelo talked a little bit on to support the movement. We all have seen the situation of the hospital. I mean, the infrastructure, the Focolare, the center, as the local call it, they just call it the center. But they talk about. I'm having some delay in echo. Okay, I think that sound that should sound. Sorry, I don't know where that is coming from. I'm having a lot of echo from my end. So, but what I was saying is, I think at some time Ma Ara has mentioned that they need even finances to maybe do some repair of the center. At least in terms of cleaning, they can do it. Is it fund? Is it money going to go to part of this infrastructure development, or is just being meant to maybe just to do entertainment just for the university itself? Is there any way, or what do you hope to do with the funding as you go to raise fund? What do you want to tell the people, the public? Dinkem, or any of you, or Marcel, you
Thank you,
can go
Doctor.
first. Yes,
Maybe I can say
yes,
something about that.
yes. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, fundraising, as we said, the Central Organizing Committee decided to do a global fundraising for all the activities that will take place on the Triple Jubilee celebration, year-long celebration, as we are saying. So, obviously, the fundraising would be to realize projects, would be to be used to organize the different milestones before the Jubilee proper in December 17th to 19th of December 2026. So and as well for the 20 for that same culminating point of the Jubilee. I mean, from the 17th to the 19th. Obviously, it will be a great mobilization. We're expecting so many people. We need accommodation for people, as you rightly mentioned. We need to feed them, obviously, but this is not just only accommodation and feeding, but even the if you think of communication, if you think of other things that would be needed to have a successful celebration. So even the liturgy, to organize the liturgy, we need funds. So the funds that are being raised, that have been raised and will continue to be raised, will go a long way to support the projects, the celebrations of the milestones, as well as the culminating celebration. And we just talked about the hall. I know that the Seed of Wisdom ex-students want to take that on themselves as a separate project, but also some other projects. But the fundraising that we are doing will go a long way to cover the rest of the expenses, the preparation of the Citadel to welcome a lot of people that we're expecting in December, as well as to make them feel at home when they come and feel comfortable. Yes, and also have a very successful celebration. Yeah, and if there are projects that come up during the preparations, funds would also be allocated for these projects.
Yes, in the is there any strategy put in place, say in Cameroon? I will come back to the diaspora strategy to to mobilize something like Zelle or like direct down bank deposit or Momo account in Cameroon and something like that, so that it should not just be like Mr. Marcelo is saying that it's going to be a series of fundraising where if somebody is not able to come to Douala, but the person can sit and say, okay, let me chip in whatever to put a strategy or to mobilize the resources. If people have to leave to the center and go say to another mission, to another outstation to mobilize. They need to hire a bike, they need to do movement and all of this kind of activity. Dinkum, let me hear from you.
The finance committee is properly structured to carry out this duty, and they have set up a Momo account. There is a bank account. The numbers, the relevant details will be will be put out there before, I think, before the end of the day of tomorrow, so that anybody who wants to contribute from far and near can do so from the convenience of its home and the phone. But I would like to go back a little bit into why the launching in Douala. The launching in Douala is actually a concept that we thought should be experimented this time around to get the buy-in of the grassroots. From the 50th anniversary, we realized that when the occasion was launched in Yaoundé, it was only it had limited impact on the rest of the country. Douala is launching, but it doesn't exclude the our communities, the BLM communities in other cities of Cameroon and globally to come together and organize a launch. When you launch, the head, all the communities have been sufficiently energized in Douala, and we expect to see people from Besale, from Folepi, from Gumbo, from Nwangong, from Mok, and everybody converging on Collège de la Salle. This is because the work has been done at the grassroots. And this is what we call one of the pillars, which is the people of the BLM who own, I would say, literally own the Focolare movement and all that that has been happening in that area over the past 6 decades. So we look forward to other cities coming up with, if not branded in the same manner, the same activity, giving another name, so as to bring this message to the grassroots. This would not only ensure the spread of the knowledge about the Focolare movement and its works in the BLM. It would also galvanize people towards the final celebrations in Menji in Mver come December. So this is actually why, when you ask the question, I thought I should share this part of the strategy. But for fundraising, it's going to take on many forms. There will be online town hall fundraising initiatives. There will be dinners. There will be breakfast. It could be, you could organize 20, 30 people at the breakfast table and talk business. Can organize at dinner and talk business. And that is the formula we want to adopt at this particular moment. It would also be noted that it has been said quite often that the folklore has given everything to us for the past 60 years. Now it is time for us to give. Let us not forget that Project Africa was carried on by people even younger than you and me in the 60s. They went out to do all the odd jobs in summer as well as in the winter just to find funds to do this, to bring Fontem to where it is today. So we have now come of age. What is our own input for people who would come after us 60 years from today? We must lay the foundation stone at this moment. So this is the grand concept, the grand design behind all what is happening. I hope I must not have said more than
No,
what.
so in the column, so what I'm getting from you in a quick summary is that And if Bamenda, say for example, or people in Kumba, they want to organize a camp together, call it whatever, I will formulate a name under the canopy of this triple jubilee celebration, do a fundraising, talk about the evangelization, talk about the work of the movement and the impact to the life of the people. They are more than welcome, and the organization would stand shoulder to shoulder with those community.
Yeah, we'll learn the support. We will learn the support. What the lessons learned in Douala will be shared with them to make sure that such initiatives are successful and knowledge impacting. That would be a very brilliant idea for any city, not only in Cameroon, Africa, and the world, to undertake. We would be very happy to share. Why not?
Yes, Terence, let me come back to you. Here in the diaspora, have there been any structure set up so far to really galvanize or mobilize the community, especially here in the US? Yeah, I think you have to unmute yourself. Yeah, okay, go ahead.
Can you can you hear
Yes,
me now?
yes.
Okay, yeah. So the structure of the organization, it's all blended in one. So you have each committee has members from the four corners of the globe included. So they work as a central body. Now, in terms of strategy going forward, the expectation is that the ex-students of Sidoism who are well structured across the globe and they are in the diaspora, they are also organizing, they are also planning other fundraising events. But it is also important to know that internally, the ex-students have projects. They're going to do a separate fundraiser. But for this central fundraiser, the expectation is the fundraising is going to also have an online bent, and people would join in remotely, and they can donate, they can participate in that fundraising event. And then the finance committee, it's I think it's structured. That information will go out. They have point persons in the diaspora who now, once the fundraising is launched, then there would be a dedicated group, point persons in US, Canada, UK, to be the access points to collect money on behalf of the committee. So that would follow once, I think that information is going to be released once as Kamalem said, probably before tomorrow, to provide that guidance. But we are also expecting the Fondom Development Associations to be part and parcel to drive the fundraising agenda. Because if you just take, for example, Citizen we have 6 funds who are ex-students of Citizen. So that can tell you that kind of instructs us on the importance of fandom organization. And then the Focolare is there for the entire division. So all the 17 fandoms are equal stakeholders in this process. And the spirit of Focolare may all be one. It's a very unity type of event. So the expectation is that at the fandom level, they will also assist with the fundraiser. I think just to add, and a lot of this in the diaspora too. As we know, there are a lot of strong fandom associations and even village associations in the diaspora that would we are expecting that once the fundraising strategy it's launched, it's activated completely, then you have a lot of support also and outreach to these other diaspora associations.
Yeah, yes, yeah, thank you for bringing that because I said so because you really need somebody not to be aggressive, but somebody a point person who when take something or when receive and send begin to do acknowledgement letter, begin to do a follow up if somebody come to a Zoom meeting and pledge, or for whatever, or even go to a WhatsApp forum and say, okay, I pledge this amount, then there should be somebody, a strategy where that person is being followed up, then acknowledge all those can begin to put those data out. I remember about 2, 3 years ago when the Suez and they were very effective in terms of fundraising in the reopening of State of Wisdom College here in the US.
Right. So I think I think for the 50th anniversary was a little different. Uh, and this year there's a different bent to it, So there's a central organizing committee with people in the diaspora involved. So I think as we proceed, uh, we're going to make a lot of strategic adjustments
Hmm.
in terms of, as we said, having focal points in the diaspora that have, and these will be people who have a history and they are very connected
To the people,
to
and
the
even in
constituency in the
different
diaspora.
and even in different states.
Right. Right. It matters, right? As you
Yeah.
talk about strategy, it really matters how we design the strategy. But I think I think the expectation is that we're waiting for the official launch. Once that official launch in Douala takes place, and then they're going to find out the entire strategy with the diaspora, because the fundraising will be an ongoing process.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember, to carry on activity, we're almost mid-May now, so which therefore means that we'll have like probably about 6, 7 months to go. And I think some of the funding will be using as they go along, because it's not something that I think audience should also be reminded that it is not something that you will collect the money until December before you really come and sit down and use it. So I think those are some of the activities which I believe the fundraising committee, the finance committee, or the committee will be looking into that. Come on, let's switch back. Let's go back a little bit to the activity of the Sunday. I think Mr. Marcelo said there will be a solo mass after the
So,
mass.
director,
Yes, go ahead.
before you switch, can I say something just to add to the because you talked about the need for money. You
Yes.
know, um, the the anniversary arena, all the different arenas in the BLM, they are going to receiving. We're going to be receiving a lot of guests, right?
Hmm.
And in the African culture, if you are inviting people to your house, to your village, to your fandom, to your division, there are things there are preparatory steps that you have to take, right? And we know we are coming from a crisis that really destroyed a lot of infrastructure. So there's going to be we would need to do a lot of maintenance to touch, facilities that people will come and use, and that it's not something that should be, can be done at the last minute, right? So there is really an urgent need for money, so that as you do for every event, even for your own family event, if you have a cry die, a funeral to celebrate, you have to rehabilitate your compound. The family compound needs to be rehabilitated, because when people come, they have to use facilities in the compound. And the compound also has to look decent for those guests that we are inviting. There are people traveling from the United States, from Canada, from Italy, all over, and many of them, some of them are Focolarinos who left Fontem 60 years ago, and we don't want them to come, even though we know we had a crisis, a war, and come and there are no facilities, there's not enough food, there's not enough drinks, the toilets are not well done, and all of that. So there's really an urgent need for this funding to start doing a lot of this rehabilitation work and preparing all the grounds for the celebration.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. I think that's an important aspect for people to know. Like I said, I think the committee, when they actually launch and unveil what is going to happen, They will have people that will begin to communicate maybe through WhatsApp, our most common social media, communicate to the BLM people and well wishers. So the need for why they need this money and what they want to use for, which people always want to say, dear viewers, if you are listening to us again, this panel is in connection. We are talking about the Focolare movement, the 60 years of love and unity, the celebration which started. The event has already started since February 6th. So this is just a continuation, but they have a lot of activity that are going on behind the scene. Yes, like Mr. Masolo, I was saying, after the mass, I just want to get a little bit of the details. After the mass, which you were trying to outline, I just think that maybe you should remind our audience again that the mass will start at, is it 9 or 10 p.m.? Then after that, what for the next?
9
Detail.
8.
9 a.m. I think the network too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Oh, I think,
can you
yeah,
hear
yes.
me?
Yes, yeah, the
Okay.
network, yeah, you went on
Can,
and off, yeah.
can you
Can you
hear
hear
me?
me?
Okay,
Yes,
he's
okay,
back.
Mr. Marcelo, hold on. Let them come and let them continue so that when your network becomes steady.
Okay, after the
Okay,
mass,
that's fine.
there will be a musical interlude whilst the celebrants go change and come back. Remember that the mass is a solemn mass, and there will be no other person than our beloved Bishop of Edea, Bishop Jean Bosco Ntep, who will be the chief celebrant with other priests. And we look forward to priests, friends of the movement, many of them joining us. After that, there will be a series of speeches that have been carefully put together. One would set the stage, then there will be a speech from the Fond of Fontem, from the Focolare. There will be a speech about the new evangelization coupled with life examples. And that might take us up to midday. And when it is midday, you know exactly that we have to break and have lunch. Would have a community lunch. After the community lunch, then comes this crucial activity, the fundraising. I think Mr. Maxelos, if he's now his network is now established, can take over from there and explain exactly what will go on thereafter.
Okay, Mr. Marcelo, yeah, I think your network is connected now.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Doctor. And thank you, Ndinke Malen. We would have fundraising, and as we've been explaining, we hope to really touch everyone, those who would be connected, as well as those who would be in the hall. But this fundraising would be having will not end there because we also have letters that we have addressed to individuals, and we hope that with these letters they can also assist in making the triple celebration a success, in helping by funding one or another aspect of the celebration. And after the fundraising, while we have this fundraising, it will be enabled also with a cake that has been prepared for the occasion. After that, we would have traditional dances to crown the whole afternoon. So we have our different village associations who would come in their colors and in their regalia to lighten the air with traditional music and shake to the rhythm. So it will really be fantastic, and we hope that everyone who would be present and even those who would be connected online would enjoy themselves.
Yes, thank you. I think that culture, that aspect of the culture is what most of the BLM trauma encounter love to do that. I think that would be a wonderful opportunity for them to come and showcase themselves uh, a little bit while waiting for the grand December. I call it the grand December. So
Yeah.
yes, I think this is a wonderful event that the BLM people, if you are listening to us, please, Sunday is your day. Uh, Grab a friend, go and share with them, go and show them what the Focolare people have done to the BLM. Tell your own story. As they always say, do not let someone tell your story. You should be the one to define yourself. Tell your story. Tell them what the Focolare did. Tell them what exactly your place was like and what it is today. So you should be the one to define yourself, not somebody telling a story about you. So it's an opportunity for the BLM community.
Okay, doctor.
Why? Yes.
Can I add
Yes.
something?
Yes.
During the entire our entire stay at College de la Salle, there will be a picture exhibition of the 60 years in Fontaine. And this will be one of the points of attraction to see where we are coming from and where we are today. Where we were considered to be people of the Stone Age. You remember when they still used to carry, when the local stretcher was an Indian bamboo with people tied to it and carried to the hospital or carried to the native doctor,
Yeah.
to where we have a modern ambulance standing by Mary Health of Africa Hospital ready to ferry you to any part of the world. I just use that as an example. So there will be a picture exhibition on a large screen, and it will be running the whole day. So as you were saying, that would be testimony, prime evidence as to what we are celebrating, where we are coming from, and where we are today.
Yes, I think you nailed it, and I want to thank you so much. Maybe any closing remark that then we can do it, Mr. Marcellus. I think this has been an opportunity for many of us too, even though I grew up in the village, to really learn about an in-depth of the folklore movement. Sometimes you just pass by, you just hear this word superficially. Then when this kind of opportunity come by,
Yes,
uh,
I would say
begin to
that if we want to know more,
go ahead.
sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to say that if we want to know more, it would be better to be connected or to participate because then the speeches that will be given would dive deep into what the history holds and also what the future holds, as well as what we're living today. So I think if somebody doesn't yet really know and wants to find out what the details about the development or on the unfolding of the Focolare movement stay or journey with us or with the BLM person is, then it's good to participate or to connect yourself to the streaming that will take place on Sunday.
Okay, yes. Okay, thank you so much. And can anyone last word?
Well, Doctor, would you allow me to say something?
Yes.
I happen to be, say, a son of the soil, as people say, and the story of the Focolare, the church, the Focolare, and in our area is something so passionate, and that we can never stop talking about it, other than in the superlatives. Um, at the 50th anniversary, statistics have that in 50 years, Seed of Wisdom had already turned out more than 2,500 graduates. And a few days ago, I had the opportunity to meet with an OPSAN, an Okoyong past student. And we were talking about this year, Okoyong is 70. And we're talking about 60 and 70. And I asked her, what is the strength of your alumni? It was 1,000, she said. And she was surprised that Seat of Wisdom within this time produced 2,500. So you can see that some seeds, they say the seeds that the Bible holds that the seeds that fell on good ground will multiply a hundredfold. I'm not saying Koyon did not fall on good ground. So we started imagining why the difference. At 70 years, Okoyong had produced over 1,000. But in 60 years, Seat of Wisdom had produced over 2,500. And we came to the conclusion that, first of all, Seat of Wisdom was something that was highly needed and patronized by the people of the area. And secondly, as a co-educational establishment, there was always a higher intake than Okoyom, which was a girls-only secondary school. So when you start to look at the deliverables, it will be the same in every other aspect. We still have people who, I think on Sunday, we would have the privilege to present people who they are still alive. Some of them became engineers because they did that. Some of them became engineers because in the early days they worked in the Focolare workshops, the mechanical workshops, the electrical engineers today who all came through that mold. I think there is just too much to be thankful for. And all of us have now to learn how to give back. I met with people who worked so hard for Fontem, very far away in Brazil, many years ago, and they were still so passionate about Fontem. Why is it that those of us who are the prime beneficiaries, some of us saw the first Focolare arrive in 1966, and where we are coming from? Why can't we give back to our community? We should not only be at the receiving end, we should now be at the giving end. And it is all summarized in one word by Kiara: love. If you love one another as I love you, you will be a light to the world. Fontem has to be that city on the mountain come Sunday. I'm done, doctor.
I can't hear doctor anymore. Is it my network?
We cannot hear you, director. It's your mic.
Yes, yes. I was okay. Sorry, there was some noise too. I was saying that. Any last word from you?
Yes, I think I will not say much. I think Mr. Maxelos and Kamala have said it all. But what my emphasis would be on unity, the spirit of unity, which is what the folklore really stands for. That we are united in purpose as a people, and we have to be grateful for everything that we have done together with the folklore. But it's also very important to for us to know that we are the folklore belongs to us. We are the folklore because this perspective is very important. The folklore is not just the members of the movement who came from Italy and from other parts of the world, but it's rightfully us because that pact, the pact of mutual love that most from them signed with the community, brings together, wraps together everybody as an important component of the experiment that the folklore brought to Fontem, and hoping that in the forest, as it was at the time, that transformation would happen, which we have all witnessed with our own eyes, and seen how when they arrived Fontem in 1966, the BLM was basically lost in the forest. But their presence really has transformed the BLM to what it is today. So 60 years, really, it's a time of great maturity. And it's also a time for us to be grateful, to show appreciation to ourselves. I don't think that there's anybody from the BLM who has not been touched by the presence of all folklore structures, either directly or indirectly. So it is also a time for us to come and celebrate our own achievements as people, because the community really, this experiment would not have been successful without the community. The community is a bedrock, is a foundation of what has really transpired in the BLM, and I think as we journey this journey towards the 60th anniversary, every little penny, every single franc, it's going to be important. We don't want people to to look at. It's important, yeah. It's important to look at how much you're giving, but I think the essence here, we really want everyone's heart to be touched and to give as to the best of their ability. So every single franc will really matter to the organizers, and we can also assure everyone here that, as we know, every dime that is contributed, every franc, is going to be accountable. So at the end of the day, there's going to be a financial report that is issued, and it's going to go to everybody because we are all stakeholders of this process. So people can trust and give as willingly as possible. And I would close by saying the diaspora, this is for the diaspora, because we we always look back to where we come from, to our heritage. So this is one of those moments where we are really, really asking the diaspora to not just contribute, but also be able to pick up the phone and call anybody in the organizing committee if they have ideas. Because I always believe that sometimes good ideas, the best ideas come from really unexpected places. So this is not just about contributing money. It's also, if somebody has an idea and thinks that we should, this anniversary should be organized. There should be some activities that they think it's really brilliant. The organizing committee is very open to that. So it's not just money, but also ideas and involvement. We really need uh, anybody who can sacrifice, volunteer their time to step up, step in, pick up a role, an assignment, and run with it. Thank you so much, Gaza Media, for all the work that you continue to do for the community. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Taren, for pitching in. Mr. Marcelo, you wanted to say something before we go, or you concluded? So, at this,
No, just to say that I'm also grateful to have participated. I think Dinkemalem and Mr. Atem have said everything. We trust that our efforts would bear fruit because we are putting in everything, and we are inviting everyone to mobilize themselves to join us in the trail so that we can journey together. And as we say, the theme of this celebration is community miracle preserving Kiara Lubek's legacy. So we have to be together. It's a miracle that took place in our place, and we uphold it and we journey together. And in that manner, would uphold the legacy of Mafondem Kiara. Yeah.
okay. Yes,
Thank you so much.
thank you all for taking the time to be here with me, dear viewers. As we come to the end of this program today, this is not the end of the celebration. I remember Chief Dr. Fomenche once said to me in Arizona when we're having a convention. He said the BLM people of today should be the folklore movement of 60 years ago. And by that, he was meaning that it is our time, it is the time for the BLM diaspora in particular to step up and take some voluntary responsibility, moral responsibility to give back to their own community. I remember in those days, people like Dr. Locho, people came from nowhere to come and help. Now it is the responsibility, as Terence was saying, for us, the BLM people in the diaspora, particularly those in the diaspora, to step and say, okay, let me give back to my own community that I have benefited from. Again, I want to thank you so much. So stay tuned to us on Sunday as we'll bring you live images and reporting of what will be transpiring in Douala. And of course, we'll always bring you images or any reporting and update. I think from now on, the activity of this university will be a little bit intense. So we'll be coming to you more often, giving you update of what is happening. And then please stay tuned and you do share the link and stay connected to Gaza Media and have a wonderful evening or a wonderful afternoon here in the US. And bye bye for now.